It's short, it's fleeting. Sometimes it flies and sometimes it stands still. It catches up with us and passes us by. Sometimes it's of the essence, and others we've got it to spare. Good, bad, wasted, and well spent. It can be passed in sorrow or in celebration. It slips, it ticks, it heals all wounds, and wounds all heals. It waits for no one and never stops. It's on our side, it's our enemy, it's all we have in this world. You can't buy more, so make the most of it. Make time for amazing. Hi everyone, William Ha here from Elite Gen Magazine. This week I'm driving the 2024 Lexus LC500 Convertible. So I did drive the coupe version last summer, and 2024 is the model year where Lexus has updated the interior and provided 2 new exterior colors and a new wheel design. And keep watching, we're going to go into more detail on some of the updated features. So this is the side view of the LC500 Convertible, and we absolutely have to talk about the styling of this vehicle because even after 7 model years, it still looks amazing. It still turns heads. Now, I do think the coupe looks better overall with the fixed roof, but I think for this vehicle, having the convertible gives you the option to drive top down in the summer, and it's just a different feeling. It's really quite a joy to drive with the top down when it's sunny and warm out. And if we go around to the front corner, you can see the lines on the hood. It converges into the spindle grille. And not everybody likes the spindle grille on certain Lexus models, but it works really well for this LC500. As you can see the lines there, everything just fits very nicely. You have sport brakes, 2-piece rotors with 6-piston calipers in the front. And you also have sport brakes in the back, and you can see those wide hips. Shakira would be impressed because those hips definitely don't lie. And inside, this blue and white spec is really, really nice. Not everybody likes white seating surfaces for a convertible, but I think it works well with this ultrasonic blue mica 2.0 color. And you can see the back here. It's kind of got that spindle grille lines too if you look closely. And those taillights are really cool. They're layered, and they were inspired by the glow of a jet's afterburners. It's quite a story that Lexus put together for those taillights. Again, you can see those beautiful hips. It's a really, really nice design overall. Let's take a quick peek into the trunk. So you got 96 liters here, and just to give perspective, a new Honda Civic has over 4 times more space than this LC, but they do use gas charged struts to hold up the trunk, which is good, as opposed to hinges, because those hinges can otherwise intrude into the actual cargo space. So you can fit a golf bag in there no problem. I do like those gas charged struts. And there's a small storage compartment under the floor. I'm just gonna lift this up. You can see there's a tiny little square compartment there where you can store something small. So that's the cargo space. I do like that there's a handle here that you can pull on if you want to close the trunk lid. So we're under the hood, and this engine cover is very nice. It's got the Lexus logo with the carbon fiber design. Really good sports suspension, and I mentioned earlier it's a 5-liter naturally aspirated V8 with 471 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque. Now, all that power comes at pretty high revs, and because there's no turbochargers, it doesn't have as much power as its competitors, and it doesn't get up to speed as quickly, but it's otherwise a very strong, durable engine. And what I like is that it's got both port and direct fuel injection, which is a good design because that'll minimize carbon buildup over time. And I also like that it specs 5W30 engine oil, which is a little bit thicker than most oils that are used today. And with the long service lives, having a thicker oil is always good for durability. Now, I also want to talk about these things. So you have one on each side, and then you have one at each hinge too. So these components are meant to detonate and push the hood up in the event of a front end collision, because in certain markets, the front end has to meet certain height standards. And because the front end is so low, Lexus had to design these components to meet safety standards. So let's talk about the interior. So the biggest improvement that Lexus made for this LC500 is finally there's a touch screen. So the screen is bigger, it's 12.3 inches, and it replaces the old trackpad, which was really annoying to use. I knew friends in the car world where they were thinking about buying this vehicle and they ended up passing on it because it was that bad, it was that shitty to use. So finally a touchscreen. So it's got the Lexus Safety System 2.5 as well, so there's an improved camera that makes the forward collision warning and the lane keep assist even better. And there's also now a front camera along with an overhead camera, so that's really useful when you're parking. So really, really nice. This touchscreen was really important, and it works really well. It's snappy, it's got high resolution. There's other nice design touches too. One thing, of course, is this blue and white interior. It's fantastic. So this is new for 2024 as well. And yes, I'm matching with the interior. I did that on purpose. And the other thing too is that the shifter knob. So the way they designed it, the Takumi craftsmen. So in the Lexus world, Takumi means master craftspeople. These are the people who do some of the handwork, like the stitching on the dash. And in this case, with the shifter knob, they stitch the leather in a way where the threads are concealed. So that's just one example of the meticulous touch that goes into this interior. And you can see that it's really nice. There's nice flowing lines here on the center console. There's nice flowing lines on the door panels. And there's another feature I really like too. There's a soft touch surface here, and it acts as a forearm rest. So when you want to put your arms here, or when your forearms are here and you're shifting gears, it makes it a lot more comfortable. Beautiful design. This convertible model has neck heaters. The seats are nicely bolstered. I mentioned earlier, they're very comfortable. You've got these really small sun visors. Unfortunately, this is still an incandescent light. It's not LED. One weird thing though is that on the steering wheel, so you have your volume controls here, and on most vehicles you'll have your volume controls and your seek skip buttons on the same side, but on this LC500 the seek button, so if you want to change tracks, it's on the right side. So you kind of have your audio buttons on both sides. So it was a little confusing to figure out. I mean, you get used to it, but it's just something worth pointing out. You've got an electrically assisted seat here. Same on the passenger side if you need to get to the rear, so it automatically moves forward and down. And then as soon as you put the seat back, it'll move back into the position where you have it set. Another good thing is that Lexus uses really good quality foam for their seats. On most vehicles where you have high bolsters, when you get out of the vehicle, you tend to have to push off your left thigh, and over time it could crease the leather. But you can see here, even after almost 6,000 kilometers, the leather is still nice and clean. There's no creases. Again, soft touch surfaces even here. On most vehicles, even premium vehicles, It's all plasticky, but you can see it's soft touch, and there's even stitching here too. So this is how the car looks at night. You really can appreciate these taillights. They were inspired by the glow of a jet's afterburners. You got LED license plate lights. And if we go around to the front, you got really bright LED headlights. That reverse Nike symbol stays lit. There's 3 beams. It's a little bit hard to capture on camera, but you can see there's this little zigzag pattern on the bottom. But it does look nice at night. So stepping inside, you also have LED footwell lighting on both sides. And even in the storage area, there's a little light in there too. So there's your USB ports are in there. And it's got cornering lights as well. So when you turn the steering wheel, the cornering lights will turn on. I'm going to demonstrate. Hi, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Great, thank you. So what do you do for a living?
I'm a bartender and a student.
Nice. So what do you think about this Lexus LC500 Convertible?
It's a beautiful car. I love it.
Yeah, oh, I love it too. Now, what is the one feature that you really like on this vehicle?
My favorite feature just looking at it is the interior. I love the color of the interior, but my favorite feature of the car is the V8 engine. I love the way that it sounds.
Ah, so do I, so do I. Does driving a nice car make a guy more attractive to women, you think?
At first glance, definitely.
Yeah?
A little, yeah.
Yeah, as long as they're not driving a shitbox, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What is one pet peeve you have about other drivers when you're on the road?
When they drive slow in the fast lane and won't get over.
Oh, well, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
So my final thoughts on this LC500 convertible. So even though it's been on the market for 6 years, you don't see many of them on the road. And it's a shame, but I think people shopping in this segment do favor the European brands because of the fact that those brands like the Mercedes-Benz SL63 or the Jaguar F-Type, those brands have more prestige, I suppose. And I think that plays into it, along with more power. So the criticism of this LC is that it doesn't have enough power, or at least its performance numbers don't match that of European competitors. But people who buy this vehicle, I feel like it's for a very specific customers, for people who aren't all about the speed and power. They want the quality and the reliability that Lexus delivers. They want smoothness when you're driving it normally, but they love that exhaust note that this vehicle produces, which is very un-Lexus-like in terms of its noise and ferocity. But it's one of the main appeals of this vehicle, just that sound is so incredible, and it invigorates you, and I love it very much. So to me, I feel like it's a semi-exotic that can be a daily driver. You know it's going to be reliable because of that naturally aspirated V8 engine. So if you're considering this vehicle, just know that it's not the most powerful vehicle within its class, but with 471 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque and a 10-speed automatic transmission, you have more than enough power, and you're going to get great fuel efficiency, relatively speaking, for a V8. So I hope this review helped. Please keep following me. I'll be reviewing more premium vehicles this summer, and I wanted to thank Lexus Canada as well for the experience driving this LC500 convertible.